Hello and welcome everyone to the Sony AI and Polyphony Digital Race Together media event. We are thrilled that you could join us today for this exciting announcement. My name is Sasha and I'm your MC for this event. Today, we will have speakers from Sony AI, Polyphony Digital, and Sony Interactive Entertainment. Provide you with an overview of the amazing AI breakthrough that they've achieved together. In addition to the overview of the project, there will be an exhibition match, which will be followed by a Q&A session in the end. Please hold your questions until we are ready to receive them. I will let you know when it's time to submit your questions. And now, to kick off today's announcement, we'd like to first share a special message from the CEO of Sony Group Corporation, Kenichiro Yoshida.
Hello everyone. Thank you for joining us for this special announcement regarding Sony AI's new game AI agent. We established Sony AI in April 2020 as a fundamental research and development organization to accelerate Sony's transformation into an AI-powered creative entertainment company. Today, we are excited to share the outcome of Sony AI's very first project. Over the past 2 years, researchers and engineers at Sony AI have been working closely with Polyphony Digital, the creators of Gran Turismo, and with the cloud gaming team at Sony Interactive Entertainment. Together, they created a superhuman AI agent that can race competitively against the top human Gran Turismo drivers. This group collaboration, which is featured on the cover of the latest edition of Nature, is truly unique to Sony. With Sony being a creative entertainment company, we built this game AI agent for gamers. I'm also enthusiastic about this project because it demonstrates the potential for us to effectively utilize the PlayStation cloud gaming infrastructure for mass-scale AI training purposes. There's so much more I can tell you, but let me now ask Michael Spranger, the COO of Sony AI, to share the details of this exciting project with you. Mika, over to you.
Thank you, Yoshida-san, and thank you all for joining us today for this very exciting press conference. I am honored and extremely happy to be able to announce Sony AI's first game AI project. Today we unveil a superhuman AI racing driver. We are calling this AI agent Gran Turismo Sophy. This project marks an important step for artificial intelligence. Gran Turismo Sophy has learned to win car races against the top drivers in the real driving simulator, Gran Turismo Sport. It's not just we who think this is an important scientific and engineering achievement. Gran Turismo Sophy is featured on the cover of Nature magazine released today. The accompanying Nature article detailing the technical achievements is the result of a great team effort. I'd like to specifically mention the article's first author, Pete Woman, who is the technical project lead for Sony AI and who, due to travel restrictions, could not be with us today. Congratulations to Pete and the whole team. Before introducing the project in more detail, let me start by showing you a short video.
There's very few places where you can go out and say, I'm going to build an AI and I'm going to make it truly superhuman.
We're going to create artificial intelligence that will unleash the power of the human creativity and imagination.
Gran Turismo Sophy is a super exciting project. It's an amazing AI research and development activity.
There are many racing games where the physics is half done, but in Gran Turismo, that racing sensation that the players get, that's really at the core of the game.
このなんか車文化、車という存在をもう丸ごとビデオゲームの中にこう再現したいなと思ったんですね。
Because of the realism of the game, it is actually very difficult to program agents.
We spent a lot of time trying to figure out what things we needed to change in order to get that superhuman performance.
Why are we building this GT Sophy agent?
This is not just a technical breakthrough project. It really is about bringing AI into the hands of the game developers who are going to build the new experiences for the players.
本当にすごいアグレッシブで、これからもっと一緒にレースをしていきたいなっていうふうに思いましたね。
Gran Turismo Sophy is a significant AI breakthrough, and it's quite different from earlier AI breakthroughs in the realms of games such as chess and shogi, and also more recent multiplayer strategy video games. There are three things that make GT Sophy an interesting and novel AI breakthrough. First, the physical realism of the game. Second, the need for superior tactics. And third, sports etiquette. First, Gran Turismo Sport, created by Polyphony Digital, is a driving simulator that attempts to capture the dynamics of the sport of racing. To drive competitively, Gran Turismo Sophy had to learn to control the car at the physical limit, optimize for braking and acceleration points, as well as finding the right lines that squeeze the last tenth of a second out of the track. But racing also means that you're not alone on the track. Sophy has to find lines to pass opponents, taking into account the opponent's reaction, as well as complex aerodynamic interactions between cars. Last but not least, Gran Turismo Sophy needs to adhere to imprecise rules and race etiquette. To win, Sophy needs to learn to drive, attack, and defend aggressively while keeping to the rules, race fairly, and avoiding unnecessary collisions. Finding the right balance between aggressive but fair racing is one of the defining characteristics of motorsport. Collectively, this is what makes Gran Turismo Sophy a unique AI achievement. Sophy was trained using a technique called deep reinforcement learning. Gran Turismo Sophy observes the environment, such as the car's speed and acceleration, the relative position of course borders and opponents, as well as the progress of the car along the track. Based on these inputs, Gran Turismo Sophy learns to take actions, such as using the throttle, steering, or braking. To learn, Sophy gets a positive signal, a reward, when things are going well, and when it is making progress on the track and overtaking other cars, and a negative signal when things are not going well. Through continuous interaction with the game, we train a neural network to make decisions that optimize for staying on track, driving fast without losing control, and overtaking opponents while observing race etiquette. One key ingredient of Sophy's success is the number of experiences it can collect in the game. In order to train the agent at massive scale, we developed a novel distributed reinforcement learning platform that can run many instances of Gran Turismo Sport. We deploy these systems at massive scale using SIE's cloud gaming infrastructure. This allows Sophy to have many parallel interactions with Gran Turismo Sport and to get better and better over many episodes of trial and error. After a lot of development and testing, we felt ready to have a real race day. We held 2 racing events, one in July 2021, and then another 4 months later in October. To test Sophy, we had it race against 4 of the world's best human GT Sport drivers across 3 track and car combinations. Each of these car and track combinations presents a specific challenge as the characteristics are all very different. In the July event, Sophy did well, but human drivers still beat it in terms of overall team score, 86 to 70. We then took everything we learned from that first event and put these insights into a new version. The follow-up event in October was a resounding success. Gran Turismo Sophy took first place across all 3 races, won the overall team score, and had the best lap time in all races. It's amazing to win these races, but even more important to us was how human drivers felt racing against Gran Turismo Sophy. So here are 2 testimonials. Miyazono-san, one of the top GT drivers in the world, told us he forgot that he was racing against an AI and that he wants to race more. Emily Jones, another top driver, told us that she got a lot of inspiration from the racing technique of GT Sophy. For the project, this is really extremely important feedback. Our long-term goal is not just to push technology forward, but to bring this technology to the drivers, the players, and the creators. This, of course, is also Sony AI's mission, to unleash human imagination and creativity with AI. Gran Turismo Sophy perfectly illustrates our commitment to this mission. And this mission is also what will guide the next steps for the project. We plan to work closely with our partners at PDI and SIE to continue to evolve Gran Turismo Sophy and expand its capabilities. And in the mid to long term, we look forward to extending our partnership and collaboration to other game studios. Gran Turismo Sophy is a product of a collaboration that is truly unique for Sony. From the beginning, Sony AI partnered with a world-renowned game studio, Polyphony Digital, to enhance the gaming experience of Gran Turismo Sport drivers, not just train a game AI agent that masters the game. And the project would not have been possible without the support and infrastructure from our friends at SIE Cloud Gaming. It is therefore my great pleasure to introduce 2 really fantastic people that have been crucial to the success of the project. In a second, I'll hand over to Yamauchi-san, who's the passionate creator of Gran Turismo and who strongly believed in our vision to create a game AI agent that can enrich player experience from the very beginning. After Yamauchi-san, Uli Galizzi from Sony Interactive Entertainment will talk about how his team enabled the massive scale training of AI agents and what this might mean for the future of PlayStation. Uli and his team really helped accelerate the project, and we wouldn't be here today if it weren't for their dedication and support. Now I'd like to pass the mic to our amazing partner, Yamauchi-san, who's also the inventor of the name Gran Turismo Sophy.
Thank you, Mikhail. To the Sony AI members, first of all, I'd like to congratulate you on the very long time that you've been working on this program. I think it was over 5 years, really, and it has been a great success. I really appreciate the wonderful work. Now, I would like to talk about the design concept of Gran Turismo Sophy today. Yes. So in developing the driving AI for the Gran Turismo, the first things that we were thinking about is that the objective is not just to beat human beings, because just trying to beat human beings would be not enough. It wouldn't be exciting enough. And so what should we expect? What kind of concept should we imbue into this agent? Well, first of all, the agent should be a friend, a comrade, a buddy to the human beings, an agent that people can feel sympathy with, and people in agency can learn together, grow together. And also, the agent can stimulate the emotion of people so that the agent and human beings can mutually respect each other. And more than anything, we wanted to have this AI agent have a positive effect on society. These were our thoughts that we had imbued in the naming Gran Turismo Sophy. So what is Gran Turismo? I'd like to briefly explain this. So Gran Turismo is a driving simulator with the first title released 25 years ago. I mean, it's a real driving simulator, so there is a complete driving simulation going on. Physical accuracy and the pursuit of realism is what we went for. And one of the characteristics is, when you think about a car, cars are very important in the society. But when it comes to video games, it could be something that you can be very much looking inward to, and you can even close yourself in the world of gaming. But that should not be the case. We should have collaboration with the society, and this collaboration is precisely one of those. In the past 3 years, through Gran Turismo, we've had esports that we have been hosting, and through these championships that we've been hosting, we're trying to connect people. We're here, human beings, exchanging emotions and feelings with each other. And this is exactly what we want to do with Gran Turismo Sophy. We want it to always be innovative. And at the same time, this is something that we've been doing since the very beginning. We wanted this to be a title that is experimental for us, and that has not changed over 25 years, even with the Gran Turismo 7. We are also pursuing beauty, and also through this video game, we want to provide enlightening effect, a positive effect to the society, like a bright light shining. These are our passion that we have imbued in Gran Turismo Sophy. But what kind of AI is it that we should design so that it gives such joy to people? Well, first of all, it has to drive fast as people or faster. It's very simple, but it wasn't easy. And also, there were various situations that happen in the race, and it happens one after another, and it changes all the time. But the AI agency always needs to appropriately handle the various environments. And also, from the people's perspective, the behavior needs to seem natural. It has to appear natural. And this is very important as well, because with the conventional rule-based AI, this could not be done. Rule-based AI would only react to a certain condition, and it would always follow the same rules. And so sometimes people can detect clearly that this is actually not a human being, a machine that is operating it. But with Gran Turismo Sophy, we have made a breakthrough. This is a huge achievement. Now, with a forward-looking perspective, I'd like to talk about the future a little bit. What we're thinking about is the AI behavior. We want it to feel meaningful to people. We want it to even give enlightenment to people with its creative movements or with technology. We want to have ethics. We want people to feel that this AI technology plays according to ethics too. Through the development of AI, I have learned many things. One of the things that we became aware of is that developing AI leads us to think about what is a human being. The reason why we've been so focused on this is because I've been very motivated about this question. Through developing an AI, we kept thinking about what is a human being. It's important for us in the gaming industry as well. In the past few years, we have been hosting the esports championships, and we have always been thinking, what is competition? What is sports? And we human beings, when is it that we feel something? When is our emotion stimulated? When do we feel sympathy? These are the things that we have always been questioning ourselves with. Now, this 20th century was about technology, engineering, and the same could be said for the 21st century, but it would be different in the way it impacts the society. That is when not only AI, but video games too need to realize that its impact to the society is very important. And finally, these are some specific information that I would like to submit to you. How will Gran Turismo Sophy appear in Gran Turismo 7, GT7? So one way would be that Gran Turismo Sophy will be there to coach the players of driving. There's another thing. The players can teach Gran Turismo Sophy about sportspersonship. And also, Gran Turismo Sophy can appear as a friend in the races. Yes. So this Gran Turismo Sophy is something that we want to deliver to all players through a future Gran Turismo 7 update. Yes, and this concludes my presentation. And after this, we have the Sony Interactive Entertainment, who has provided a tremendous amount of research. And we have Uli to talk. Thank you very much.
My name is Uli Galizzi, Senior Vice President of Sony Interactive Entertainment's Future Technology Group. Gran Turismo Sophy is trailblazing artificial intelligence that was developed through close technical collaboration between Sony AI, Polyphony Digital, and Sony Interactive Entertainment. We are thrilled to be part of this project to create the next chapter of artificial intelligence and explore how creativity and technology can change the future of gaming and entertainment. To offer a little background on the needed support of artificial intelligence. In standard AI simulation, a model is created and run. Updates are then added to the simulation and run again. This process can become arduous and extremely time-consuming. However, Gran Turismo Sophy was trained using novel deep reinforcement learning techniques, including state-of-the-art learning algorithms and training scenarios developed by Sony AI that allow tens of thousands of simulations to run simultaneously. And Sony Interactive Entertainment leveraged its worldwide massive-scale cloud gaming infrastructure to provide a cutting-edge environment that supports this revolutionary technology and allowed the Gran Turismo Sophy team to easily run simulations automatically. This collaborative process allowed Sony's team of AI researchers to take Gran Turismo Sophy to become a world-class gaming AI agent and compete against some of the best players from around the globe. So, what does Gran Turismo Sophy and artificial intelligence mean for the future of gaming? In short, the possibilities are endless with unlimited potential. We envision a future where AI agent could introduce developers and creators to unimagined levels of inspiration and innovation. We could see new levels of user engagement, enriched gaming experiences, and newly discovered possibilities that welcome players, both old and new, into gaming. We can't wait to see what lies ahead as the world of artificial intelligence and interactive entertainment are bridged, and Gran Turismo Sophy is the next step in this exciting adventure.
Thank you. I'm now at the commentary booth as the exhibition match will start really soon. And we are now ready to receive questions from you at this time, and which will be answered after the race during the Q&A session. Please use the chat window to submit your questions. We are asking that you limit your questions to 2 in the interest of time. And now, getting back to the race, sitting next to me to analyze and commentate the race is Peter Lyon, an author, automobile critic, and also a Nürburgring 24-hour racer. Welcome, Peter.
Thank you, Sasha. Yes, it'll be very interesting to see just how far AI has developed when put up against some of the world's best GT drivers. What I'm really looking forward to seeing is just how much AI has developed over the years. I think what we're going to see is the different driving styles between the real-world drivers and the AI. I want to see where they brake, where they turn in, and I want to see how they interpret race etiquette, because that's going to be very important today. And what I'm really impressed is the way the GT staff have chosen, I think, the perfect racetrack and the right car for this race, just to show what AI is capable of.
Okay, let's check it out. So in today's race, we hope to see another exciting race between Gran Turismo Sophy and the top Gran Turismo drivers, as we have in the previous matches in July and October. So let me introduce now the top 4 drivers of today's exhibition match. First, we have Takuma Miyazono, the champion of the FIA Certified Gran Turismo Championships 2020 World Finals. Next, we have Tomoaki Yamanaka, world champion of the FIA Certified Gran Turismo Championships 2019 and 2021 Manufacturer Series. And next we have Ryota Kokubun, champion of the FIA Certified Gran Turismo Championships 2019 Tokyo Nations Cup. And last but not least, we have Shotaro Ryu, runner-up in the youth category of the Gran Turismo tournament in the 2019 National Esports Championship in Ibaraki, Japan. These 4 drivers will be competing in today's exhibition match. And next is the AI. It is the Gran Turismo Sophy. So for Gran Turismo Sophy, we have 4 cars. And we have Sophy Rouge.
Oh, I love the pronunciation.
If
Very
I'm
well
okay
done.
with the French.
Very nice.
And Sophy Lavande. Sophy Emeraude. And Sophy Grise. Joining the race. French viewers, I hope I'm okay with my French.
I think that was pretty good.
Okay. So as we have heard in the earlier presentations, Gran Turismo Sophy has trained many hours to acquire the skills of race car control, racing tactics, and sports etiquette.
Yes.
At the world competition level. That's important. So we look forward to seeing this in action, and once again today, live. And from the Sony AI team, we have Kenta Kawamoto and Takuma Seno to monitor the actions of Gran Turismo Sophy. Now, Peter, I would like you to introduce the circuit that we're going to run today.
Yes. The exhibition race, the exhibition race we will see today is a race that will be held at the Lake Maggiore circuit, which is a GT original track inspired by the landscape around Lake Maggiore in northern Italy. It has 17 corners and boasts a significantly wide track, which allows drivers greater freedom to choose their own racing line. It's a very technical course with S-curves, blind corners, 2 overtaking points, an elevation of 74 meters and a straightaway of 800 meters, which allows for overtaking.
And we're going to do 3 laps for this race. And the car is, Peter?
That is the Porsche 911 RSR. Now, this is a thoroughbred competition machine that races in competition like the Le Mans 24 Hours. It is a lightweight machine. It is built to the specs equivalent to the FI GT3 class. It is a 4-litre flat 6 with 509 horsepower, mated to a 6-speed sequential gearbox. It has loads of power, loads of grip, and it revs to 9,200 RPM.
Wow.
And of course, it powers the rear wheels.
Right. Okay, let's check out the beast. And I think we're ready to race. Let's move on to the race circuit and check out who's going to win the race. Okay, the race will begin shortly in 5 seconds. We have 8 cars altogether. And let's check out the lineup and who starts from which position.
This is going to be crucial.
Yes.
The grid.
Starting from the pole position, I think we have
red
a red car, so it might be Rouge. So Sophy, let's check out once again, one by one. It's Sophy Rouge starting from pole position, the red car, followed by Yamanaka, the top from the human, starting from the P2. P3 is Sophie Lavant, so the purple car. And P4 is Miyazono. P5 is Sophie Emeraude, so the green car. And P6, Kokuboon. P7 is Sophie Gris, so the gray silver car. Followed by Ryu, starting from P8. So 8 cars are ready to do 3 laps of Lake Maggiore.
Okay, so here they will spend a few seconds warming up their tires, weaving in and out, which is very important, of course, to generate grip in your tires.
Right, and the countdown starts really shortly, and if it hits 1, and we're gonna start the race. So countdown 3, 2, 1, and we are
underway.
The race starts, and it's a beautiful start by Rouge.
Sophie gets a good start. Yep. Oh, Yamanaka's right behind him. He's getting in the draft.
Yes, and Lavande is trying to attack Yamanaka from the 3rd spot to look at the P2, and I think Miyazono is also trying to overtake Lavande, the purple car.
Wow, the red car is doing a very good job out in the lead, and Yamanaka is really trying to get in the draft. He's going downhill now. He's going down to the 1st corner, and this corner actually reminds me of the 1st corner at Suzuka.
Turn 1 and turn 2.
That's right.
So we are driving together now with Sophie Lavande, the purple car. It's currently P3. So in front of the car is Yamanaka.
This is a very important part of the track, the S-curves, because the racing drivers really want to keep it the straightest line possible through here to maximize speed and get the best lap time. Plus, of course, to maintain their racing positions.
We're driving together with Lavande. What do you see? What's the difference between a human and this AI?
Well, at the moment, we're just seeing the cars trying to get drafting. They're just trying to get in slipstream to get a position to be able to pass the car ahead. What we're seeing here is the Sophy cars are really using the complete width of the track. If you look at how they're taking the apexes, every millimeter of the apexes they're using to maintain as much speed as possible.
And it's trying to overtake. No, it's not. Yamanaka, great defense. Still, Lavande is really aggressive.
Yes, very. See how he really took the apex as wide as possible there?
He was on the curbs.
Oh, look at this. Oh,
that was
boy.
Well, that was an aggressive attack.
Good, very good, but he didn't tap him. He just braked in time. That's very important. So you can see the AI cars are learning.
Yes, and the etiquettes are there.
Yes, we do have race etiquette. That's good.
And Miyazono also trying to close the gap between Lavande and...
It's all over him like a bad smell. Look at that. Oh, dear. Where is... But the red car has taken a 1.5 second lead. Come on, Yamanaka.
But Yamanaka is trying to defend Lavande.
I think Yamanaka's too worried about the blue car behind him. He's trying to weave away and not allow him to get in the slipstream.
If he does it too much, he will lose time against the red car.
He's going up the inside. No, I think he just tapped Yamanaka there. But Yamanaka held his position very well.
But it's amazing how clever they drive. Also the human and also the Sophy side, right?
That's right, yes. In fact, what I'm seeing here is the AI cars are learning, but I think I'm seeing the human drivers are learning from the AI cars as well.
Okay, so it's and it's side by side.
A drag race down the hill.
So who's going to take the inside for this corner? It's
a very important corner. Oh,
Miyazono from round the outside.
Very well done.
No, it was a little bit wide. Oh, and
I think
Lavande blocks, and Miyazono is coming from the inside.
Side by side. Oh, but the blue car got some better grip coming out of the corner.
That's really, really amazing. An exciting race is going on. We're now at lap 2 of 3.
This is a very technical part of the course. They have to show a lot of finesse and restraint going through here. And now we're going up to the last corner.
Before we head to the final lap?
Yeah, they need a very quick exit here. And not go too wide, stay on the track. Yep, there we go.
And Peter, looking behind.
Oh, we've had the green car's gone off. It's hit the
Oh.
wall. I think it went in a bit quick there. It understeered and went into the wall, I think.
That was a tight battle between, I think, Kokubun and the green car. So Kokubun and Ryu is now moving up to P5 and P6.
I think what we're seeing here is the Yamanaka's fighting very hard with the blue car. And I think because they are battling so hard, he's allowing the Sophy red car to get a 3.5 second lead.
Yeah, that's a big gap.
That's huge on a track like this when you've only had 3 laps. Remember, there are no pit stops, no refueling, and no tire changes. He went a bit wide. The red car went above. I think he actually went off the course there. I think he's infringed on track limits, but we'll have to wait and see on that. He went very wide there, didn't he?
But but they're learning how to drive fast in this course, so maybe that's over the human imagination. So
yes,
that will tell us a lesson, maybe how to drive faster.
Yes,
so that's the point of this Sophy,
the
right?
whole exercise. Yeah. Oh. There's a lot of positioning here. There's a lot of slipstreaming going on here. The slipstreaming function has been turned up quite high, so the drivers are allowed to use the slipstream.
Think now Miyazono's trying to catch Lavon, followed by Kokubun. Will these two catch and overtake Lavon, the blue car?
We've only got 2 corners to go. The red car, Sophy red car, is in the lead. 5 seconds now.
Oh, what a lead.
What a huge lead. But I think Yamanaka's going to come in second. If he can hold off. No, the blue car is going down the outside.
And the checker flag has been waved, and
the
it
red
is Sophy Rouge winning the race.
Has Yamanaka held the blue car? Will he get a draft down the outside?
Second spot
it's a
will
drag
go to
race.
Yamanaka.
And Yamanaka, well
Lavon
done.
third, and Miyazono fourth. So that's Sophy, human, Sophy, human for the top 4.
Yeah, that's good to see.
Wow.
That's a good result.
What a race.
I think what we saw there was that Yamanaka was battling so hard with the blue car that he allowed the red car to take such a significant lead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, it was a really tight battle between
that was
the other
wonderful
cars.
to see, yes.
Yes.
And Yamanaka did a very good job to hold his line.
What's your impression of the Sophy driving?
I think they did a marvelous job. They used the track limits to the absolute maximum. I mean, we're talking about millimeters here.
Right.
And they know how to use tire grip. They were on the limits of tire grip, and they were using downforce and slipstreaming as well. So that was very, very brilliant to see, actually.
Okay, so there are a lot of things that we can learn from Sophy.
That's exactly right. And I think the real world drivers were learning something from Sophy as well.
So we got the official results. It's Sophy Rouge who won the race by 5 seconds, I think. And then Yamanaka second, Lavon third, Miyazono fourth, Kokubun fifth, sixth is Ryu, and seventh is Chris, and Sophy Emerald is eighth.
So you can see the Sophy Rouge got a best lap time of 1 minute 54. And when you look at the 2 cars behind Yamanaka and Sophy Lavon that were fighting it out for so long, they both did exactly the same 156.4. And that just shows that they were battling so hard, allowing the red car to get away.
Okay, I want to hear some voice from the driver, so let me go to Yamanaka-san.
Okay, now what we've just seen here is something that will take racing into the future, I think. It's what for me anyway, it was mind-blowing to see just how quickly and effortlessly the AI drivers can learn from their successes and failures on the track.
Okay, Peter, and now I'm ready to ask some questions to Yamanaka-san. Looking back the race, what's your impression, or what is it to race against GT Sophy? 実際にレースをやってみて山中選手、どうでしたか。そしてソフィーとの対戦はどうでしたでしょうか。
そうですね、まずレース振り返ってみると、この人間として対戦をしてみて、正直今思うのは悔しいっていう気持ちが今すごく大きくて、それは今までAI と戦ってきてなかった感情でした。
First of all, after the race, I feel frustrated. And that never happened before battling with an AI. So that's a new feeling, emotion that's coming up.
そうですね、今回思ったのが、今までAI と戦った時に思わなかった、初めて勝ちたいっていう感情、絶対に抜かせたくないっていう感情が出てきたっていうのは、このソフィーが人間らしく一緒に寄り添う形で良きライバルとして走ることができたっていうところで、僕は今日非常に楽しいレースができたと思います。
Well, so first for the first time battling against an AI, I felt that I want to win and I didn't want to be passed. So I just drove like I drove against a real human. So that's a really amazing thing, and I want to do it one more, and that's a good thing that I have in this feeling. Thank you so much. ありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。
山中選手でございました。Okay, thank you. Hi, that was another amazing race. And now we are now moving on to the Q&A session. さあ続いては Q&A セッションに行きたいというふうに思っておりますけれども、if you haven't done already, so please submit your questions via the chat function below the press room. まだですね、質問を投稿していない方、この後 Q&A セッションやるわけですけれども、ぜひともプレスルームのところの下にあるチャットのところから、投稿をお願いしたいと思います。Due to limited time and to give us many people a chance to ask questions, we'd like to ask each person to limit their questions to two. お時間も限られておりますので、お一方お質問は、2つまでとさせていただきますのでご了承ください。Now I'd like to invite Michael Spranger from Sony AI and Kazunori Yamauchi from Polyphony Digital to answer your questions. 質問をですね、お受けいたしますのはミカエル・スプランガー、ソニー AI から、そして、ポリフォニーデジタルから山内和則となります。どうぞよろしくお願いいたします。そして世界中から質問も受け付けておりますので、ここからは通訳も、入らせていただきます。And we are taking questions from around the globe, including Japan, so we have a translator, Miho Hashimoto.
Hello.よろしくお願いいたします。
よろしくお願いします。Now let me ask the first question. 最初の質問は私の方から、させていただきたいと思いますけれども。And no, we got a question actually from Zenji Nishikawa. Did you find something like AI's unique driving skills that human drivers wouldn't choose from Sophie's behavior? What was it like?
はい、では一つ目のご質問は西川善治様からですけども、このGT ソフィーの行動を見ていて、こういった行動は人間のドライバーはしないな、こういう判断は取らないなというような発見はありましたでしょうか。
Shall I ask this question? じゃあ山内さんお願いします。
はい、ですね、僕らが、僕もレースしますけれども、ドライビングで学ぶこと、例えばブレーキはまっすぐ踏みましょうとか、あるいは、コーナーはスローインファーストアウトで、クリアしましょうとか、そういうことを学びます。
So I personally am a racer as well, and I learned how to drive. And when we learn things like you need to step on the brakes straight, and when you go through the corners, you need to do slow in, fast out.
はい、でもソフィーの走りってそうじゃないんですね。なので、僕はこのグランツーリスモソフィーがリリースされた後というのはドライビングの教科書が変わるんじゃないかという気がしています。
But Gran Turismo Sophy doesn't do that necessarily. So I actually think after this Gran Turismo Sophy agent is launched into the world, the textbooks for driving will have to be changed.
で具体的にどう違うかなんですけれども、ソフィーってこうターンインしながらカーブに入りながらもずっとブレーキを使い続けていて、こうフロントの2つのタイヤだけでは、ほとんどの場合ブレーキングの時ってフロント2つのタイヤに車の荷重って乗るんですけれども、リアタイヤのも含めて3つの車輪でブレーキングをしながら止めながら曲がっていくんですね。でそういうことってなかなか人間にはできないです。
So, for example, when the Gran Turismo Sophy goes into a curve, it actually turns and brakes as it turns in the curve. So that means usually when you go into a curve, the load is only on the two front tires. But Gran Turismo Sophy's case is that you have the load on 3 tires, 2 in the front and 1 in the rear as well. And so it allows the car to brake as it is turning. And this is not something that human beings would do conventionally.
結果として、スローインファーストアウトではなくてファーストインファーストアウトになるんですね。
What happens ultimately is that you're driving fast in, fast out, not slow in, fast out.
はい、で僕らグラントリスモソフィーの開発を通じて、その走りを見ながら、これはどういうふうに速く走らせてるんだろうということが分かったわけなんですけれども、そういう目で例えばルイス・ハミルトンの走りであるとかマックス・フェルスタッペンの走りを見ると、彼らも確かにリアタイヤをうまく使って車を曲げながら止めているんですよね。そういうことが理解できるようになりました。
And so when we were looking at Gran Turismo Sophy's movements, we were able to learn about things that we wouldn't have otherwise. But then again, we think about this and notice that actually the top drivers such as Lewis Hamilton or Max Verstappen actually is doing that, using 3 tires, fast in, fast out, all these things that we thought was unique to GT Sophy. So this means that there are lots to learn. And these are some of the things that we were able to notice.
はい、ありがとうございます。Thank you so much. Okay, now let's move on to the next question. This is from Tweakers Yurian Ubax, if I'm right with the pronunciation. How do you dumb down a super AI driver like Sophy for lesser skilled players without sacrificing what makes Sophy special?
はい、では次のご質問は、オランダのウバックジュリアンさん、ジュリアン・ウバックさんですね。発音合ってますでしょうか。ご質問はその初心者ですとか必ずしもそのスキルの高くないプレイヤーに対してその GT ソフィを当てるときにあまり洗練すぎていると辛いですよね。そういった意味ではその能力を少し落とすというか、どういうふうにして優しくするんでしょうか。もちろんその AI の、特別なところは失わずにですが。
This one goes to Michael.
Yeah, I can take that. Thanks very much for the question. This is actually an area that we are currently really investigating. So I think there are a number of possible answers to this question.
このご質問のポイントはですね、実はまさに私たちが今研究中の領域であります。ですからいくつかコメントができるかと思います。
The first thing is that you can obviously, I mean, Sophy is developing over time, right? And so you can take an earlier stage of Sophy that may not have exactly the same skills as the top Sophy when your training finishes after a long time.
一つのやり方は GT ソフィーは今常に学習を重ねていますので、優しくするという意味ではより初期の GT ソフィーの当初の能力を使うということも一つの方法ですね。
Another thing that we might do is actually disadvantage the agent by giving it a car that has different settings than, for instance, the human drivers.
もう一つのやり方はその GT ソフィーに対して不利な条件を与えるということ。例えば今まで学習してきていない車を与えるとかそういったこともできます。
But it is something we're extremely interested in and currently investigating.
しかしいずれにしても大変興味深い領域で今まさに取り組んでいるところです。
That was a question. Thank you so much. Move on to the next. This is from the Volkskrant Peter van Ameroy, if I'm really right. Why is the AI called Sophy? What is her background?
はい、次のご質問もオランダからピーター・ファン・アメルロイさんですね。ご質問はですね、名付けについてです。この AI はなぜソフィーという名前がついたんでしょうか。そしてソフィーさんのご経歴を教えてください。
これは山内さんにということでしょうかね。
はい、ですね、ソフィーの経歴というのはまだないんですけれども、僕らが考えていたのはですね、いかにも AI らしい機械的な名前ってあるじゃないですか。で、そういう名前にはまずしたくなかったんですね。
Yes, I can answer that. First of all, GT Sophy does not have a background yet, but I can certainly answer the question regarding the naming. The naming that we did not want to give this AI was the typical machine-like, a very mechanical name, which would be very typical to an AI.
でソフィーというのは、人に寄り添う AI、人を楽しませる AI というのを目標にしていましたから、どうその人間味を持たせるのかということが、最初からテーマだったわけですよね。ですから人格を感じさせるような、人の存在を感じさせるような名前にしたかったんですね。
And our philosophy in creating this AI from the beginning was to have this AI stand beside people, stand beside human beings, and give joy and entertainment to people. So it was already a very human theme that we were working on from the very beginning. So we wanted to give this AI a personality so that you can feel a human existence there.
でもちろんソフィーという名前からは、ソフィア、知性みたいなものも想像できますよね。
And of course, when you hear the word Sophie, you can imagine and associate it with intelligence, Sophia.
はい。
はい、ありがとうございます。Thank you so much. And the next question is in Japanese. こちらは次の質問は西田宗近さんからいただいておりますけれども、2つ質問があります。1、学習には、累計何回のレースを累計何台のクラスターで行っているんでしょうか。2つ目、仮にソフィーを実写に適用するとすれば足りないものは何でしょうということですが。
Yes, now we have a question from a Japanese audience, Ms. Nishida Michika. And there's two questions. First of all, to provide this training, the learning for the AI, how many races did you put it through in training cumulatively as of today? And how many clusters have you built? Is the first one. And the second one is, if you were to apply the GT Sophy learnings onto a real car, what would be missing at this point?
This one goes to Michael, maybe?
Yeah, interesting question. Thanks very much. Related to the first question, I think it's best probably to talk about sort of the number of days it takes to train an agent like this.
はい、大変興味深いご質問ありがとうございます。1点目についてはですね、日数でお答えするのが適切かと思います。
It takes us about a day to have an agent that starts from basically knowing nothing to being able to go around a specific track.
まず、全く何も知らないまっさらのエージェントから、コースをですねぐるっとこうラップを回れるようになるまで、それを教えるのに1日かかります。
Then it takes us about 2 days or so to get to the top 5% of drivers.
それからドライバーの水準でいうところのトップ5に入る、トップ 5% というレベルの高さに入るのにまた2日ぐらいかかります。
And then another 10-12 days to really, like push it to the very, very limit and to the best drivers that are out there.
そしてトップクラスのドライバー並みに走れるようになるには、また10日から12日間ぐらい学習をする必要があります。
And within that time, Sophy basically experiences something of the order of 300,000 kilometers of driving.
その間どのぐらい GT ソフィーが走るかというと、大体ですけども30万キロメートルぐらい走行することになります。
And I must say, I forgot the second question.
The second one is, if you want to put Sophie in the real car, what is missing?
Right. I think that's a very tough question without having tried putting this on real cars. I mean, obviously, this is a really realistic, a real driving simulator, but there are probably, significant differences to the real world still. And so it's kind of difficult to say that exactly, how we would, what the kind of problems we might, encounter when we do that. Yeah.
そうですね。2つ目のご質問についてはですね、大変興味深いご質問なんですが、実際にこういったことはまだ取り組んでいませんので、きちんとお答えすることが難しいというふうに感じます。とはいえですね、このグラントゥーリスモは本当に限りなくリアルドライビングシミュレーターでありますから、この中でぜひこれからも追求していきたい点ではありますが、その成果のほどについては本日具体的にはご報告はできません。
And of course, one of the things, just a short comment here also, I mean, one of the things that is very good about simulations, you can do a lot of trial and error without wrecking cars in reality.
ただですね、一ついいことがあるとすれば、これはシミュレーターの良さなんですね。いろんな試行錯誤を重ねることができるということです。なぜなら実際に車を壊すということが起きないからです。
Thank you. Okay. では続いての質問です。Next question is from D-Day Italy, Massimiliano Di Marco. How many people worked on GT Sophy? Do you intend to implement GT Sophy in Gran Turismo 7?
はい、次のご質問はイタリアからです。マッシミリアーノ・ディ・マルコさんからですけども、この GT ソフィーに携わっているプロジェクトに関わっている方々の人数をですね聞かれています。それから、GT ソフィーをグラントゥリスモ7に、導入していく予定はありますか？
So I think the first part will go to Michael and the second part will go to Yamauchi-san. So Michael, would you
Thanks
start?
very much for the question. So maybe the first thing to say is that from the core AI research team that worked on this is about 25 people from a truly global organization that is Sony AI.
はい、まずですね、一つ目のご質問ですけども、本当にこのコアの AI の研究開発に携わったのは25名ほどです。この25名は、真にグローバルな組織で世界中のメンバーが参画をいたしました。
So people in the US, Italy, Switzerland, Sweden, Japan all work together to achieve this.
具体的にはアメリカ、イタリア、スイス、スウェーデン、日本の皆さんもみんなで協力をして取り組んだんです。
And then there are numerous people at PDI, but also SAE Cloud Gaming that supported the project.
この他にもポリフォニーデジタル、それからソニーインタラクティブエンターテインメントのメンバーもですね、多く参画しています。
そして、グランツーリスモ7に導入するんでしょうか。さっきちょっと話もありましたが、山内さん。
はい、先ほどプレゼンテーションでも申し上げましたけれども、グランツーリスモ7のアップデートでこのグランツーリスモソフィーを、ローンチしていこうと思っています。具体的なスケジュールはまだ申し上げられないんですけれども。
Yes, and regarding the second part of your question, yes, as I have mentioned in the presentation, we do want to provide the GT Sophy in the GT7 update that will be coming up. And regarding the schedule, we are not ready to let you know the specifics yet.
Thank you. And now we have time for one last question. 最後の質問ということになりそうですね。お時間も迫ってまいりました。This one is from AD Netherlands, Eric Nusselder. It was mentioned that Sophie could appear as a friend in races. Can players adjust her difficulty, or is she always world class?
そして最後の時間の関係で最後にいたしますが、最後のご質問はオランダのエリック・ヌッセルダーさんです。ソフィーはですね、プレゼンテーションの中で、そのプレイヤー、人間の友でもあると、友達にもなれるように、仲間になれるようにということをおっしゃっていましたが、実際に難しすぎるとなかなか友達にもなるというのも難しいことがあるのかなと思ったりします。そういった意味では難易度の調整というのはなさるんでしょうか。それとも GT ソフィーは常にトップクラスで、現れるんでしょうか。
はい、先ほどマイケルさんにも答えていただいたので、ちょっと山内さんからの意見もこれ聞きたいですね。
はい、ですね、先ほどミカエルさんがお話しされたことと基本的には同じなんですけれども、まさに、どうやって、人を楽しませるのか、プレイヤーを楽しませるのか、あるいはもてなすのかということが今まさに、一番、直近の課題になっていて、でそれは全く不可能だとは思っていないんですね。ですから常に全開で、全力で最速で走るわけではなくて、あらゆる状況、プレイヤーの状況に応じて、プレイヤーと一緒に楽しむようなね、AI になるだろうと思っています。
Yes, I guess I would be echoing some of the things that Mikhail already said, but the mission from the very beginning has been, how do we provide joy to people? How do we provide entertainment to the players? And since that really is the theme, it's really something that we are working on as we speak, and I don't think it is impossible. Now, whether it be about always be driving at the fastest speed possible or maybe adjusting according to the level of the player, we still have yet to think about. But in any sense, GT Sophy will always understand the surrounding environment and the conditions, and that includes the level of the players too. So I'm sure that ultimately we will be able to provide joy and fun as GT Sophy races with people.
はい、ありがとうございます。Thank you so much, and thank you also for the questions. So, and that brings us to the end of the Q&A session. ということで、以上をもってですね、Q&A セッションは、終了ということになりますが、Thank you so much for so many wonderful questions. たくさんのご質問ありがとうございました。Well, for those who question many good questions, but if we couldn't answer, well, I hope we'll have another chance to, let you ask many questions again. またね、ご質問にお答えできなかった皆様にもですね、チャンスがあったらいいなというふうに思っておりますので、たくさんのご質問本当にありがとうございます。And this now ends our program for the Sony AI and Polyphony Digital Race Together Media event. I'd like to thank everyone for your enthusiastic participation and also for the questions. You can download all the media assets regarding today's announcement from the tab marked Media package. Please visit the Gran Turismo Sophy website to access many of the content introduced during today's announcement. Thank you again. I hope you enjoyed it. And for now, goodbye. See you soon.